Voilà.
Hi.
Okay, hello. I don't know if my speakers can see me. Can we please turn on our cameras? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening. I was live, but I think I was just talking to myself. I don't
Yes,
know
I
what
think it was the network,
Yeah, I couldn't
probably.
hear anything. I thought it was me. I thought the problem was from my end.
Oh no, please can we please turn on our cameras now? If you can do that, that'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, just give me a minute, please. I'll
Okay,
turn it
thank
on
you.
now.
Okay, so sorry for that. I want to say to the audience, sorry, I don't know what happened, but I'm glad we're getting this right now. So once more, I want to say to our audience on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, thank you for joining us. Welcome. Please drop your name. Want to meet you, want to know your location, and also to those on LinkedIn, tap on the video and type in your comment or your name or your questions, and we tend to address it. So today with me we have three speakers. We have Dr. Owen, we have Iswa, we have Awa, and we're here to talk about beyond graduation. So before we go into details, I'll start with Dr. Iswa, then Owen, just quickly a brief introduction about yourself. What do you do? Then we'll dive into the discussion for today.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'll say ladies first. So,
Ah, okay, that is please,
ladies-
Dr. Owen, thank you. That is first. Okay. And Dr. Owen, I think you're muted. Dr. Owen, you're muted.
Because I was hearing, I muted myself because I was hearing an echo when
Oh,
my fellow panelist was speaking.
is it okay now, or do you hear the same echo?
Yeah, no, it's good now. Am I to go? Is it? Am
Yeah,
I the
yeah,
one to
just your
go?
name. Yes, let's meet you briefly. Your name introduction, just quickly. Then move to Dr. Israel.
Okay, introduction. Okay, my name is Dr. Owen Joe. I am, my background is as a medical doctor. I got my MBBS, well, my MD at the IP Pavlov State Medical University, St. Petersburg, Russia. And a couple of years after, I was privileged to be awarded the Commonwealth Scholarship, Distance Learning Full Scholarship for a Master's in Public Health at the University of Liverpool. So my background is in public, well, I'm a medical doctor, but I'm also a public health physician, and I'm a healthcare entrepreneur. So I am the founder and managing director of HIGC Health Consultants, with our head office in Lagos, Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria. So that's just a brief about me, but I'm sure that you will get to know more about me as we progress in the session. Thank you very much, Ejiro, for having me.
Thank you so much. And our gentleman, Dr. Israel.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening. It's always good to be here. Thank you, Jiro, for this warm invitation. My name is Israel Adekunle Balogun. I'm also a medical doctor. I graduated almost 17 years ago. I had my first master's at London School of Hygiene about 11 years ago. Did another second master's in law in 2019, 2018, 2019 in Ireland. And I'm currently a final year PhD student at University College London. I've had the privilege of working with World Bank, United Nations, European Union, and different organizations, INGOs across 16 countries. It's a pleasure to be here. And just to say this, I happen to be the first Nigerian to win the Global Award for those who study in the UK.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
that's amazing. Thank you. You deserve an applause for that.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have Awa here with us. She was here. I don't think. Well, I don't know. I think it was a network issue or something. But hopefully she's able to join in. So let's go in for the discourse for today. Just want to say to our audience, I can see people on the call here. So please let us meet you. Just a quick one. I'm CBS from Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. I also have I think Adam Isha and others. So let us meet you. Feel free to type on the chat. Okay. So people talk about, okay, I have gone to school, I've done my master's, I've done my PhD. What next? And I'm happy because our speakers here today have walked the journey for the discourse for today. like Israel said, he finished them, I think 17 years ago, right? Oh, I
Yes,
think you're
17
mute.
years ago. Yes,
Yeah, and
17
also
years ago.
yeah, and also Dr. Owen a long time ago. So they've worked this part and they had to share with us tips, challenges, how they went there or what happened. You know, someone said it's always good to ask people that worked before you to learn ideas to get insight. So I want to say to the audience one more time, please do drop your questions while we go on. So I want to start with something maybe with a big question. Uh, Between when you finished, like when you just finished, right? And now, the gap,
Mm.
the gap. So my question is, what would you say is, let's start with something simple. The one thing that made a difference between where you were and where you are now. The one thing.
Yeah.
It can be positive, it can be negative, I don't know, but the one thing. So anyone can go first. I'm not picking anyone. Anyone that wants to just jump in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me start first in this case. I'll say having a big clarity of vision was one of the things that helped me. Because if you look at the current trajectory across the globe, a lot of things are evolving, especially in the public health space, development space, and even humanitarian. For me, I had a cross-working relationship. Like I made mention earlier, I did a master's in law. I did another master's in public health, practice as a doctor, and currently pursuing a PhD. So having a clarity of what I wanted to do in the future was what made me to come for a PhD. At least I can say confidently. I got a job with World Bank, but I had to turn it down because I don't want to be distracted by money. You know, sometimes when you start earning big money, you tend to forget your vision and dreams. So that would be my, my own contribution for now.
Oh, look, that's I love that, but what back? I don't want to say because people like we're finding the job. Okay, thank you for that. But I love what you said. Clarity and vision that made a real difference, and not get distracted. I love that. Dr. Owen, do you want to tell us the one thing that made a difference between where you are now and where you were?
Okay, the question is not so clear, but let me take a shot at it. I would say for me, the big thing or the big push has been the need to continue to evolve. Um, they need to continue to evolve. They need to continue to innovate in today's world. For you to find your footing and your place in this world, you must continue to evolve. As a matter of fact, you die when you stop evolving, right? So I think for me that has been the greatest push. As a matter of fact, I'm currently in Abuja um, for something that has to do with my work in public health. And this is something that I wouldn't have found myself doing in this space, right? Having these interactions, having these dialogues, which I didn't have that opportunity to get my master's in public health, right? So constantly I'm delving more into my area of study, like my master's in public health, and yeah. So I think I'd say for me, it's in not so many words, the need to continually evolve.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Owen, because I just left the question open because I just want to just like an icebreaker to start the section. So you can come in from any dimension. Just to go to our, can you just briefly introduce yourself? Then the question I asked the speakers was, what was the one thing that made a big difference between where you are now and where you were? So you can come from any angle. It's just like to open the section. Yeah. I think you are muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so you said what?
Just one, first of all, briefly introduce yourself and what do you do? That what I asked the speaker was that one thing that you think made a big difference between where you were before and where you were now? It can be anything.
Okay, my name is Helen Liman. a Commonwealth scholar. I did my master's in international development from SOAS, where I majored in migration, mobility, and development. And I currently work with the vice president as his technical advisor on women. So for me, sincerely, it has been rediscovering my potentialities and really understanding who truly I am, finding um, those things that truly propel me, understanding and having the opportunity to connect the dots. It has really been a profound one for me, being able to match the three things that I do currently want, because aside working with the vice president, I also run a social impact initiative, which is called the Inspire for Impact Initiative, which also work with women and youth. So that has really been a strong one for me, the ability to connect all the things that I do within the public policy space and governance, and also in the social sector space doing what I do. So that has really been my my thing.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And just to say to our speakers, this is a roundtable conversation. So if you feel you want to chip in or say something, just let me know. We have that flexibility.
Okay.
So I love what you
Mhm.
all said. But, I want to push this further. I know Dr. Israel said clarity, and based on what, because you're all doing a lot. Dr. Wami has the consultancy and other things she does. Awa has the role with the vice president as well as the other things she have, and Dr. Israel, I know he does a lot of stuff. I just want to ask, when you were finishing your degree, whether it's PhD, whether it's master's, I know that Dr. Israel said clarity. Did you know that this is what you wanted to do, or was it the situation or the market that made you just find yourself doing what you're doing now? Was it clear from the day? Well, I'm asking because most of us graduates were like, okay, we just finished university, we finished our degree, but next is job hunting. Then unfortunately you might not have that transition easy. So for you, was all those things clear? This is what you want to do, or was it not? You just
Yeah.
find yourself doing it.
Well, for me, it was clear because the trajectory that I started immediately after my first degree, after my NYSC, I got to be employed with the National Youth Service Corps. So I've always found myself working between young people and also empowering women. So part of my application process also, the highlight was coming back and amplifying the work that I'm doing with women and youth. So even my dissertation was centered around critically analyzing, the impact of the NYSC in the 50 years of its existence. So I've always had that clarity, even before I went for my master's, of what I wanted to do. So it was to, gain more knowledgeable, get more in-depth understanding of what truly I wanted to do. So, and it really helped me, it really shaped me, it really gave me insight into the way forward. Also, the professional development courses and all the other components that came with the fellowship was just an icing on the sugar. But really, I had that clarity even before I went for the study, which was something I wanted to continue on that trajectory, working with women and youth. It's always been something I've had the passion and interest for, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to be on the path that I am now.
Okay, thank you so much. And Dr. Isa, Dr. Owen wants to go next.
I can go.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead,
Um,
Dr. Wen.
Ladies
Yeah.
first now. Now I
my
support that
situation
ladies
is
first.
completely yeah. My situation is completely different to Hawa's. I didn't. The simple answer is no. I didn't have clarity. Um, so I studied in St. Petersburg, Russia, right? That was where I studied medicine, and most of my classmates after med school went to the US, went to the UK, went to Australia, went to Canada. I was the only Nigerian in my class. And, the idea was, yeah, everybody was just going to, Japa did not just start today. Japa has been a thing. But um, my mom was like, no, come back to Nigeria, blah, 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 this. Anyway, long story short, I sort of fell for it. Now I don't have any regrets, but a couple of years ago, I was like, this woman, Wait till you can't do for Nigeria, but yeah, I mean now I don't like it's getting clearer. Anyway, so I came back to Nigeria, and honestly, the first few years of clinical practice, I honestly felt like it was not me. So when you're in medical school, it's completely different from when you're actually in practice. And again, there was a bit of culture shock. Like, is this how we practice medicine in Nigeria? Like the system was just so chaotic and dysfunctional that I was like, nah, I can't do this, right? So the first few years of practicing clinical medicine, I already knew that it was not for me. But something happened, and I think maybe that story for another day. But I think the best thing that happened to me was discovering health insurance in Nigeria. Because I honestly feel like if I had not done that, I may have gone on to become a DJ or something. Because at the point when it happened, I had already made up my mind that clinical medicine was not it for me. And so it was when I ventured into health insurance and working in the health insurance space that I started to discover more about public health. And as a matter of fact, my dissertation at the University of Liverpool, when I did my MPH dissertation, I eventually, did work on health insurance. And so I feel like it was the clarity started to come, the vision became clearer after I ventured into health insurance. That was where I really discovered my passion. And so I feel like I am still evolving. I have a very clear idea of what it is that I'm doing now, what it is that I want to do. The vision is clearer now, but I didn't start off with that clarity. Absolutely not. So, yeah.
Hmm.
And Dr. Israel.
Thank you so much. Just to say this, like I made mention earlier, I've gone through a transitional phase in life. Uh, for those who might not know, have known me, I'm a person with disability. So when I finished my secondary school, more like high school now, in 1993, it took me about 8 years before I could get into medical school. So probably those were some of the things that shaped my thinking. By the time I graduated in 2007, I knew that I'm going to work in the area of prevention of infectious diseases, especially with a focus on disabling diseases, which I did. Of course, I worked with one of the wife of the governor then in Bauchi before trying to go into residency. So I think I was a resident doctor, doing well in community medicine. I just realized that that it wasn't really meeting my need, and before even going for residency, I've done a project across 3 states in a World Bank funded project for HIV/AIDS. So I realized that this is like underselling myself. So that was when I opted out of residency and decided to pursue a master's at the London School of Hygiene. Fortunately, I think I got about 4 scholarship that year. I went for London School. So I did because of this prestigious nature. And of course, that particular incident was more like transformative and made me to see clarity of vision, clarity of purpose. And so subsequently, when I came back to Nigeria after graduating in 2015, of course, I had a job with the Bauchi state government. Unfortunately, my job was like stalled. So after waiting for 6 months, I just opted out to work in the NGO setting where I was working in TB and leprosy. And for those who know the Nigerian healthcare system very well, TB and leprosy is more like situated under the communicable diseases. So I was working across 3 states, global fund. All my states were doing very well. But at the same time, I knew something was missing because being a person with disability myself, I wanted to make a difference at a higher level. So that was why, I think in 2017, I took another job. I was given a job in Kent City um, as more like a senior fellow, but I turned it down. I said, no, I'm going to work in disability, which was more like a departure from the clinical medicine that I was in, and also, of course, uh, the public health aspect of it. But fortunately, when I got into CBM, I had already gotten a grant from the British government to audit humanitarian actors in the Northeast. And that audit was what it, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Am
you.
I, yes. And that audit was what changed my trajectory, because that audit made me realize the situation of person with disability in the country is terrible, both in humanitarian and development setting. And that was how I ventured into it fully. And as a result of that, I later went for another master's to go and study disability law and policy, just to like reinforce what I know. And today, I'm happy with what I've done because it has enabled me to work across 16 countries, to also change policy in Nigeria and also at global level. So, for me, that will be um, my current story, but it's still evolving, but at a higher level. Thank you. Sorry for taking your time.
um, um, I don't know. I don't. Dr. Owen, you want to add something? I don't know. Were you about to say something, Dr. Owen? Okay, I'll go on. All right.
No, no, no,
Thank you
no.
so much.
I was just impressed. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Please, we are doing our own bid across every space. Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the next question. So you've kind of answered my question indirectly, but now I want it to be more. If you can be more specific, that'll be helpful for our audience. So the next question I'll put on the chat just to help you read it in case you when you're speaking. So the next question is: what strategies helped you land your first major role or opportunity after university? And and what skills you believe are the most critical for graduates entering today's job market? So it can be Nigeria, it can be about just whatever dimension you want to talk about. The much more diverse views we have, the better. So maybe we'll start with
Okay,
Awad
Okay,
so
because
I can go.
Awad will still live early.
okay,
So if there's
Well, how I go ahead. How I
yeah,
go. Go, please go.
okay. I think the most important strategy that helped me, and I think will be valuable to other young people listening to us, is that issue of value. Always have the ability to add value wherever you find yourself. And for me, I think it was that component that really positioned me where I am today. Because after just before I finished my master's, my Commonwealth Scholarship, I decided to resign from my workplace because I had some challenges getting the approval, getting the study leave, and stuff like that. So I just took this difficult decision of let me just resign and fully focus on doing my social impact work personally. And that commitment, that passion, and putting in everything I had, galvanizing the resources that I had, the network that I built before, during, and after the fellowship, coming back home and really starting to roll out a program that I was really passionate about. And I remember even while during the fellowship, during this, I pitched some of the ideas I had at different programs, one in the University of Cambridge, professional development program. So I already had plans of what I wanted to do. So, and I felt even working for the government at that point in time at the level I was kind of going to restrict me from doing what I wanted to do. So I took the bull by the horn and I resigned. And in barely 8 months into the resignation, what I wanted to do, I was called upon and interviewed by the office of the vice president. I was given this role. So it was that issue of adding value, committing to impacting lives within your own sphere of influence with the little that you think you're not doing much, but actually you're doing enough. So another thing I think is the issue of being persistent. I remember sharing the story during our welcome back reception in Abuja. That issue of consistency, that factor of being consistent and being resilient really helped me because many apply for the scholarship once, twice, they get in. For me, I told them that in between the Chevening scholarship and the Commonwealth scholarship, I've been applying since 2011, but I didn't get until 2022.
Wow.
So every year I've sent
Wow.
in applications between the
Oh my
Commonwealth and the Chevening scholarship, and I was counting, I've had over 20 applications between the two. So like adding value, being consistent, being resilient, truly goes a long way in giving you the opportunity to accomplish what you set out to. But clearly, it also depends on finding that purpose, what finding your why. Why do you do what you do? So for me, the opportunity and the blessings of clearly having that clarity and knowing this is why I do what I do really positioned me, and committing to adding value, being consistent, being open to learning, investing in my networks. Truly, it did help me. So I would say I will leave them with these strategies if they truly want to, go for and accomplish all they aspire and what they want to really accomplish.
wow.
Wow.
Uh, be-
Hello?
before I
Wow.
say anything, I need to
Hello?
make an applause. This is because you said 2011 because that's when we mentor people and people will do one job and they're like they're tired. 2011.
Yes, between
Can you hear me?
yeah, between 2011, because I remember immediately after my BSc, yes, immediately after my BSc in 2011, I even have my first application. It was a traveling application. So, and I didn't get to the semi-final of the Chevening until 2017. And even after attending the semi-final interview, I didn't make the finals. So by 2012, I discovered the Commonwealth Scholarship, and I've been sending in applications. And I kept changing. So another issue is for them to be flexible and for them to be able to adapt to changing times. So in between those years, and for every application I sent in and I got rejected, I took it as an avenue to go back and check what were the things I was doing wrong. So it was an avenue to relearn other things and unlearn another thing. So for me, I kept changing paths from gender studies, from the sustainable development goals, from entrepreneurship. Eventually, I found my niche, I found my track, and it really complemented every other thing that I was doing. And eventually, when I checked my first application, I told myself, Hawa, even if I was the one selecting, I wouldn't pick you because over the years I've evolved, I've invested in myself, So it took me to be going back to the drawing board, and it really helped me. It really positioned me because I kept trying. The more application I sent in, the more invested I was, reading, researching, getting mentors, and sincerely, it was helpful. That resilience, that being consistent, having the perseverance, it really shapes you. So for me, I saw it as a lesson. Not for it became a norm. I just have the application saved in my system. And I'll even wait till maybe second to the last day or the last day. I will just bring it out, edit it, the new things I've done, add it, and I will just push it. So I really want them to
Wow.
have the patience. And once you have the direction you want to go, it may take time, but be consistent, be resilient, and keep improving in yourself. Keep improving in yourself.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's a lot, but I don't want to
Wow.
say that's
Honestly, I think the Hawa's picture should be in the dictionary. Like when you search for the word perseverance, Hawa's picture should come up because what 11 years? Nah, I don't think I have that level of perseverance. I'm sorry, I
Yes.
can't.
Dr. Israel,
11
I'm seeing as
years.
well.
Wow.
Wow. I don't, but let me not say much
11
because I know
years.
that Dr. Israel will mention something like that. So let me allow Dr. Owen go on because also that's amazing. I don't know what to say to that, but that's amazing. So let me allow Dr. Owen, please just go on. Yeah.
To be very honest, I think Hawa has really laid it out. Everything that she said. Yes, yes, yes. Resilience, perseverance, adding value, very, very important. Investing in your networks, continuing to improve yourself. Everything that Hawa said, yes, 100%. But I also want to add something. Interpersonal relationships. So I always say something. Your skill set and your pali will get you in the door. It would land you the job. But what would help you keep the job and what will help you excel is your interpersonal skills, your people skills, right?
Mm,
You have to continue to develop your people skills. It is very, very important because everything that you do in life is an interaction. Every interaction with a human being requires some level of skill, right? Interpersonal skill. So it is important for you to keep that in mind, that your technical know-how alone cannot get you very far. And also keeping in mind the things that Hawa had mentioned, wanting the need to continue to deliver value. That is something that I feel has set me apart from, okay, when I landed my first HMO job, right, health insurance job, it was my obviously, like, I was a HMO virgin. I had never worked in the industry, and to be very honest with you, when I went in for that interview, I was yarning up backs, like, I just talk nonsense. After the interview, I was like, "Ha, no way, no way, these people will not come," because I wouldn't have hired myself because I flunked it. You do something like, when you finish an exam and you're like, like, I knew I flunked that interview, right? I was surprised to get a phone call. Like, the chairman was luckily the chairman was in the interview, and apparently it turned out that the chairman actually made a case for me. Like, he saw something in me. And let me tell you something. Like, it is one of my humble brags. Like, there's in fact my HOD at the time was one of my references that I used for when I was applying for my Commonwealth scholarship. That's to tell you how good I performed. I was so good that I was working in the Lagos office. The head office was in Abuja, and apparently I was this star girl. Like, everybody knew me in the head office because I was so restless. I was supposed to be in quality assurance, but I was everywhere. I was in client services, I was in marketing, I was in call center. Like, I just kept applying myself and adding value. As a matter of fact, my HOD at the time just sent me a message a few minutes ago saying that she has been promoted to MD. So I'm just saying, like, just continue to apply yourself. Like, people will look at you. So people don't have that mentality of, don't be my business, don't be me getting this. Like, wherever you are, like, there's this saying, if you're called to be a sweeper, sweep like your entire life depends on it. Like, whatever it is that you're called to do it with
yeah.
purpose, do it with passion, do it with conviction, like, be intentional about it, right? And one last thing that I will add, I think integrity is very, very important. Like, your word should be your bond. Integrity is so important, and it's one of the things that will set you apart. So everything that Hawa said, but I think interpersonal skills as well, and integrity. Those are the things that I would love to add to this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think one of the things I got there is the keep applying yourself, adding value. I love that. Thank you so much. So let me not keep talking. Let me allow Dr. Israel to bring it on. Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much, Awa and Dr. Owen. Listening to our story of applying more than 11 times to both chefs. Unfortunately, I think I met Awa. We met at the Commonwealth Stanford in 2022. Yeah, that was where I met her. I must commend you. I didn't know you had that wonderful story.
Honestly.
Yeah, the highest I had was one of my mentee that applied like 8 times. I think Ejiro brought him here from Kano too. For
Mm.
me, mine was like quite different. Of course, it took me 8 years before I could get into medical school. So that was my own story. But leveraging on what you have said, I mean, the ladies have said it all. The ability to also be visionary is very, very key in any role you are. Like, I haven't worked in different organizations. Everywhere I work, they don't want me to go. But for me, I've learned not to overstay my welcome. I've learned to evolve. Sometimes at the peak of, a good masquerade is the masquerade that knows when the drum ends that is supposed to like disappear. You should know when to disappear and not to become a tutelar. So I've always applied that to my strategy. And at the same time, I'm also generational in thinking. Like in everywhere I've worked, I put in place mechanism such that if I'm no longer there again, that work will continue after me. More like leaving a legacy. And that's something I want everybody that is planning to work or who is going to work, make sure you leave legacy, enduring legacy, that people will, in 20 years' time, people will talk about you. In 30 years' time, people will talk about the work that you have done. And it goes across every continent I've worked. I remember when I was living in Iraq in 2021, my country director is a Dutch guy. He was begging me, he says, Israel, please don't go. He said, you have changed the trajectory of our organization. I was able to help them end a misunderstanding that they have with one of the UN agencies, which lasted for more than 3 years. Because I think that UN agency poked one of our major staff, and the staff the organization was not happy. I said, look, relax. For him to be there, we need to learn synergy. We need to learn how to network, and we leverage on that network, and we're able to do so much. And right now, we would like to talk to every upcoming person is this. Learn to also build your capacity. For me, everywhere I go, I try to look at the skill set that I'm lagging, that is also relevant to where I'm going. For instance, I came for a PhD. I've already been established in the field of humanitarian work, especially when it comes to disability inclusion across the world. I'm not making a boast about it. I'm well known. Even my supervisor, who is a professor, had to ask me, he says, why did you come for a PhD? I say, I want to get that skill set. I want to broaden my scope. There is something they call academic writing, which is quite different from NGO writing. I want to be able to write both together, So look for how you will get enough skill that will make you relevant for the future that you envisage. Don't think about the now. Like I said, I was given a job in World Bank. I've done consultancy work for them, but I look at it. If I go and collect this job, I will now be working and be making money. And the next thing is this: money is good, though. Sorry, my value system is not limited to money. Okay, so that's me as an individual. I'm not driven by money. I'm driven about social contract, social contribution. Those are some of my motivations. So, depending on you as an individual, locate your niche. I think Awa was the one that said it. Locate your niche and run with it. You can evolve, you can change, and you can improve, and you can diversify. There is no room to diversify. When I tell people that I studied law, some of them will say, how? How can a medical doctor study? I say, go and check my degree. I was a class rep also in that law class. So don't think maybe I'm an unknown person. So diversify. If I know that I needed law for what I'm doing, law and policy. So I learned that on my own. So keep on improving yourself, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Most of what you mentioned, like these soft skills, I don't know. Can you hear me? Okay, great. They're actually very, very relevant. And I was saying patience. Owen said, value, keep doing things, be there and there, and honestly, it's this when you see people where they are at times you just envy them. You don't know what water has gone under the bridge. We don't know, which is good. I'm happy that we are here to talk about our journey, talk about what people need to do. I just want to let me take this conversation to a different angle. I want to talk about challenges, for example. You can give me anyone, maybe after, maybe when you finish school, or maybe along the way, or maybe your biggest challenge. Because at times, almost times, we learn from people's stories as we are learning right now. What would you say was your biggest? I know you kind of mentioned it when we are discussing, but let's make it more pronounced. Maybe what was the biggest challenge? Can be maybe after graduation or can be during your career path. What was the biggest challenge and how did you overcome it or did you not? I know I was mentioned something about resigning, but if you have something else to share I think that will really help because people, one thing I learned from mentoring, that they tell me, you don't understand. I'm going through this, you don't understand. I'm going through this. I'm like, no, we all have gone through something. So because I'm first challenge, just life. So what would you say was the biggest challenge? And
I don't know if it's just me, but Ejiro, you're breaking. Is it just me? If it's just
oh,
me, so that I can sort out on my end.
can you keep it? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I
Oh,
can hear you. Yeah. I guess it's a
okay.
network
Yes,
issue.
I can hear you also.
Mm, mm.
Okay. Maybe I'll just do it again. So, Awa, did you catch my question?
Yeah, you said biggest challenge, right?
Yeah, yeah. It could be immediately after
Yeah, I
graduation
think
or
it's my
during the month.
network.
So what did I think make that big difference?
Well, I
Because some
think
people can.
for me, yeah, for me, I think my biggest challenge is this perfectionism, like trying to make sure everything is done to the last, you know. So I had this challenge of letting go, of delegating. So it stretches me. I always like to make sure that everything I'm doing is perfectly done. So I really found it difficult to delegate, but eventually I've been able to adjust because I've realized fully that for me to grow, you know, from point A to point B, I can never do it all. I need to trust people. I need to build a strong team around me that can take off some responsibilities from me. So Alhamdulillah, with constant learning, yes, I was able to unlearn that issue of doing it all and understanding clearly that if I'm to grow, whatever I'm doing, is it in my workplace, is it in my business, I need to trust, to delegate, put a structure in place so that whether I'm around or not, the job gets done. So it was one of my greatest challenges, you know, the difficulty in delegating and trusting people to do the job. But yeah, as we're growing now, my business, it can operate. I'm not around my social impact work. And even in my office, I have a team that I let go. This is what I want to be done. Who takes this? Who takes this? We've clearly defined the roles. They've truly understood my culture, what I really want in the workplace, you know, what I need to be achieved. So that has really, you know, been a challenge to me, but with the right support, with the right mentorship, with the right, yes, as I keep telling young people to always invest in learning. So even the post scholarship, I've been, you know, going back to school, doing one course here and another, you know, doing postgrad studies again here and there. So like that has really helped. You see a course here, you invest, is it online, is it in person? So also build a right network that you keep learning from. You see how they do things. They also support you to implement in your own space. So it has really helped.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Delegation. Well, yeah, I think the issue
Yeah.
of perfection is common to a lot of people. I know I'm one of them. And actually a big issue. Yeah. Thank you so much. Dr. Owen, I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, would you like to go next? I can put a question on the screen if that will help.
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think so because my program was distance learning, right? It was so I was working full time and also doing the program. So it was really hectic. You know, keeping up with the deadlines, you know, things like that. I think some of the things that supported that helped me out in the first few during the first few modules. I had uh, somebody in Nigeria as well who was well actually two people who were also doing the program, and so we were sort of leaning from each other and you know gaining strength, pulling strength from each other. There's something very big about having a community, right? That pours into you. It's very, very important. And so that community helped me out. Unfortunately, one of them eventually dropped out of the program because he couldn't keep up, you know, with full time work. I had to at some point take defer my studies for a bit because I was changing jobs. Because I mean, listen, life is doesn't stop. When you're doing distance learning, life does not stop, right? You have to keep going. And so at some point, I was changing jobs. I got a job with a North American digital healthcare company, and it was a completely different shift, right? So I needed to defend my studies, but then I got back into the group. I think the thing that helped me the most was having a strong community of people that I could lean from and lean on as well. Um, one of the biggest challenges post the program was, I would say, aligning my degree, my MPH, to my work, because at the time, about the time that I was finishing, I got into business full time, right? So I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but then this was me then going in and saying, okay, you know what, full time, like, I'm jumping into the deep end, and I'm going into entrepreneurship, and so after my program, I mean, I knew that I loved public health. I knew that I loved policy, public health policy. I knew that I loved health insurance. So I had like bits and pieces of things that I loved here and there, but it wasn't necessarily a clear picture of how does this fit into what I'm doing. For the longest time, HIDC Health Consultants operated as a social enterprise, right? And so over the years, we've had to evolve, like evolve into, with our evolution process is still ongoing. As a matter of fact, our website is currently being updated, and so we keep evolving. And in recent years, yeah, we've been able to, I've been able to sort of pull it together and align the purpose of, like what my studies were into my business life. So it's a cohesive picture, and so yeah, so I think aligning my studies, because again, like I said, it's not always going to be just straightforward. You study, you do a master's in international relations, and as you come out, a job as an ambassador is waiting for you. Like, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So it doesn't typically work like that. Let me say that, right? So yeah, just knowing how to align that purpose, with what you're doing, or align the vision and all of that. And so I think what helped me with that realignment and all of that, was something that Hawa had mentioned. I continued to, network. I continued to, just take courses, hone my skills, and just, to be very honest with you, I would say I kept learning and I kept networking. And I think that has really, really helped to align the vision and the purpose with, yeah, what I studied and all of that, or post studies.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Is, what I want to do is, you're going to answer that question, but with the other new question. Still, I think, because one thing I discovered from all of you, you're all innovators, entrepreneurs, in diverse space. So, because I know that not everybody is going to like work for someone, some people might also want to venture into that. So, in addition to the previous question of the challenges faced, Dr. Israel, maybe you can also answer, how can graduates identify or leverage hidden opportunities in their field, or how can they be innovative? I think if you can be more specific, give examples as much as you can, that will be much appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ejiro, and thank you, Awan, Dr. Owen. I've learned so much from you, ladies. This
Yeah,
is,
me too.
like the truth of the matter is this: if you want to grow in life, you must never stop learning. Okay,
Yeah, she's
that's the
right.
secret of life at a whole. So for me, one of my biggest challenge, when I first did my first master, I came with big vision. I wanted to transform the health system in Nigeria, but Nigeria happened to me. Oh my God.
Oh
Ah,
my God.
when Nawa said she resigned, I understood. They have a way of caging you, especially when you are in civil service. I remember prior to that time, I got a funding, one of the largest funding I got for Bauchi State government, close to 1 billion naira. And because of some civil servant, I felt that I'm a doctor, I'm not supposed to be involved in helping them to get grant. They block it and make it unproductive that we lost that grant. I felt so annoyed, and I made up my mind that if this is the way I'm going to be working, I would rather not work with the Nigerian government. I'm sorry to say this openly because it was very, very frustrating. Subsequently, I've evolved because I also learned that you have to be diplomatic. You need to understand power play. This is something that I was never told in medical school. You need to understand how to play the politics of life, the politics of development, both international and local, even everywhere, even in our families that we play politics, So you have to understand politics very well and know when to use the card appropriately. Then that was it for me. And as a result, I had to step away from public service to go and work in NGO. And I find fulfillment in working NGO. Of course, NGO wasn't perfect. I won't lie to you. I saw the other part also of NGO. So at a point in time, I just got fed up and I decided to start something on my own. So I started a consultancy firm. Okay. So through that consultancy firm, I've been able to bid and get grant, not only grant, also work for UN and World Bank, through those consultancy work that I have. But at the same time, the beauty about consultancy also is this: it's not, you don't get funding regularly. Okay, you don't get consultancy regularly too. So you need to work on your ability to sustain relationship, like was mentioned earlier, partnership. Like we always talk to scholars that your network is your what? Net worth. So
Yeah.
learn to network
Network.
appropriately. Yes. For me,
Yeah.
I'm a doctor by training, but I have lawyer friends, I have economists. Even sometimes people don't even know what I do. I'm into education, I'm into everything, jack of all trade, but master of most, not master of none. No. For me, master of most. Okay. Because I keep on evolving, I'm keep on
Oh,
developing myself in that space. When it comes to disability inclusion, where across different sectors, I'm more like one of the leading experts, not only in Nigeria, but across the globe, by the grace of God, So, and this is something that I find it very fulfilling, even if there is no money. And besides, of course, you are aware also, I also mentor people on scholarship regularly. That one I do that one pro bono, So I've mentored lawyers, I've mentored educationists, I've mentored all manner of people in different sectors, and I'm happy doing that. So, of course, those relationships also help me
Mm.
to reconnect later on in life. Those people, they will want to recommend me for opportunities as the case might be or as the case arises. So, this is one of the things I want every one of us, the skills that you are learning, now that it's even AI era, please build your capacity, expand your world. Don't be don't do what this company did in those days. Was it Nokia? That now became obsolete.
yeah,
Keep on evolving. Keep on
yeah.
evolving. Don't, because this is how we did it in 2005, and now this is 2025. You need to keep pace with the recent happenings. Learn AI, incorporate AI into your work. They are doing AI. What's it called? Robotics are doing surgery now. So learn how to operate even with robots. So that you won't be phased out later on in life. So that would be my advice to everyone. I'm innovative, and I hope I have answered your question. Let me not talk too much because I have a lot on my mind.
No, thank you so much. I just want to say before I go to Dr. Owen, I want to say to our audience, I can see people on the call. Please let us meet you. Drop your name, drop your location, and also drop your question or just comment. And it's been nice to have a feel of our audience. So Dr. Owen, I've heard Dr. Israel we go way back, so I know his story, or I know some of his story. Yeah, I just want to say to you, Dr. Owen, what do you think, or how can I know you're in the field of health or medicine. What are these hidden opportunities that graduates can harness, or how can they be innovative? Because like we said, not everyone will want to wait for a job or will work for someone. So, what advice will you give, maybe based on your experience and based on what you've seen so far in the industry?
Okay,
Can you
so
hear me? Okay.
information is power. I can hear you. Yeah. Information is power. Um, why am I in Abuja today? I'm in Abuja today because the Federal Ministry of Health invited me to the inaugural private sector engagement um, framework dialogue for maternal, reproductive, maternal, and child health um, policy 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 framework for the presidential. Anyway, it's sounding like a lot of gibberish, but anyway, it's supposed to be a private sector dialogue that is meant to be like a feedback mechanism into the reproductive, maternal, child health, and nutrition policy for 2026, right? But how did I even get into this? Simply from watching the news and hearing the federal minister of health, talk about postpartum hemorrhage and a particular product that was helping to reduce postpartum hemorrhage. So, postpartum hemorrhage is severe bleeding after childbirth, after delivery, and that's just in simple terms, right? And it is the leading cause of death, maternal mortality, like death in women, right? Preventable maternal mortality. I don't know if anybody saw the BBC article that came out sometime, I think in April this year, just around National Safe Mother Month, that Nigeria is the most dangerous place for a woman to give birth. Anyway, so I got wind of that. That was, I think, Q4 2024. And I'm like, oh my God, I got so interested. And I'm like, this is something that is going to be a focus area for us as an organization. Now, we started to spotlight maternal mortality and postpartum hemorrhage in particular. We did a documentary, and somehow, Federal Ministry of Health got wind of our work. But the point I'm trying to make is information, like I said, is power. If I didn't have that information, I wouldn't be sitting right here today, right? So it's very important. How do you get information? Yes, watching the news. I know that. I know that we in this day and time, there's so much information overload. You put on your phone and it's like from here and there, like there's all this gossip, there's all this, and it's okay, like it's okay once in a while to indulge in all the gossip and all of that. To I think my internet is really messing me up, but I hope you can hear me. I think it's also important for you to invest your time into okay. I think it's also important for you to invest your time into getting information about what's happening in your sector. What are the nuances in your sector? It is so important for you to do that. And so, like I said, news outlets or news channels, groups, being a member of, or being a member of several groups that are affiliated to your work. You know what I mean? Professional groups, professional bodies, things like that. When you get wind of events, networking events that are important in your sector or that are relevant in your sector, go out, go network. And I always talk about intentional networking. Networking is not going to a place and just exchanging business cards and never doing follow up, right? It is very, very important for you to invest in nurturing your network. So that's how the information that you need to take you from where you are to the next level. Na person hand it there. Na person go give you that information. Do you understand? So, like they say, you cannot clap with one hand. Like that two hand, you go take clap. So you need that information from people in order to. So and again, finally, be open to innovation. Be open to evolving. Do not be a one trick pony. If not, like Dr. Israel said, you end up like Nokia. So
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I honestly, I really agree with your information because somebody has to give it to you. You have to find it somewhere. You're very right. I really appreciate that. Before I just move on to the next, I think, few questions and we'll call it a night. Dr. Izzo, do you want to add anything to that or should we just move on?
Oh my God, no, she has nailed it. I know. Information is key. Jiro, I think a couple of days ago we were talking about something, and I gave you one information that even I was shocked that you never knew that type of
Yeah.
information. I was shocked, but
Yeah.
information is key, and you have to be around places be around people that will give you information. That's the only thing I would add. Besides listening to news, sometimes not all the information is on the news page. Some are
Yeah.
hidden within some group of people, so you have to network and ask questions so that you can dig deep and unravel some of those informations. Some of them, some people hoard information. That's another thing. And some people don't easily share it. So, but with good
Yeah.
relationship, some people might open up to you, you know. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So this next question is more on the I was well, should I say human side or I think everything's the human side, but it's almost similar to what you've answered before. But I think this is a bit deeper. So I once asked about challenges you faced, and you talked about it. But has there been any point in your career path in your journey that you're like, okay, I have to give up. I'm done for. This is it. Have you ever gotten there, or did you almost get there? Because it happens to people you get and they'll keep telling you, oh well, my case is different. So have you ever gotten to that point or did you avoid getting to that point? Maybe it's a two-way question. If you didn't, that's amazing. That's fine. So
Okay. Maybe Dr. Owen or Dr. Well, okay, let me go first in this regard. I've got into that space so many times. One of the things is this: some platform are not. You don't need some platform to get your work done. Okay. Some platform are very toxic environment. I've worked in places where it was one of the most toxic places that I've ever worked in my life, and I was expecting that this place would be a place whereby people will see the value you are bringing on board, but they see that if maybe you are taking the shine off them. And I'm not a competition. I always tell people, I say, look, I'm not in competition with anybody. One of the things I've learned is to allow everybody to evolve. Every bird can fly at their levels. There's a limit for the ego. Even for chicken can fly too. It also has its limit, but allow everybody to what to maximize their potential. And I won't put people down on account of saying maybe because I'm doing better than you, or maybe you are aiming higher than me. I will push you to go higher because the more you go higher, the more you probably increase my own height too. So I had the opportunity of quitting some organizations deliberately, and when I did that, it was for my own good. It helped me to refocus. It also helped me to have an understanding that what I'm doing is really worthwhile, because some people will make you feel as if you are trying to take credit for everything. But I wasn't interested in credit. I was interested in bringing a transformation that will last a lifetime. Like in the little time I've worked in Nigeria, for you to do, for some of you that know Nigerian politics very well, Nigeria is a complex country. Successfully carrying out a policy change and passing legislation in Nigeria, if you can do that successfully, just know that you have achieved. And I've been able to do that on not on one front, but on multiple fronts. And by extension, every other country I have gone to, it's very easy for me to do that because I haven't been brought up in a rugged environment like Nigeria, where stakeholders, everybody, you know, I don't want to go further than this, it's quite challenging. The Nigerian environment is quite challenging. But if you can break through, if you can overcome those adversity, I'm telling you, there's nowhere in the world that you want to work that you'll be able to work. So I've had opportunity of quitting. I wanted to quit. Of course, I quitted. I left some jobs, and also I left some relationships too. You should evaluate yourself. One of the things I do regularly is to evaluate myself as an individual. What is slowing me down? What do I need to shed as heavy weight that is making me not to soar? So, and that's more like self-evaluation, both for myself, and I also had what they call feedback. I talk to people that I even think that that are not in alliance with me. And with me, I'd ask them, "What do you see as my weakness?" The essence is for me to just understand them and also to understand myself and to also see how I can improve. So there is always room for improvement. That's what I tell anybody I come across. In every area of life, strive for excellence, strive for improvement, strive for you being the best in that area, in your field. And that would be my advice in this regard. Thank you.
So we've boarded. I would like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity. Uh, it's been a great one. Talking though very briefly on and off, but Ejiro, sincerely, I look forward to another moment when I'm still in one place where we can talk some more. Yeah, count me in. Just give me enough notice. And so I don't know what was the last question. Maybe I can chip in something. Oh,
The act was
Oh,
that the
wow,
tea
it
and
was
morning is
really
good for.
nice chatting with you today. I would love to
okay.
connect with you after this. I'll get your contact from Ejiro so that we can
Okay.
connect.
Yeah, it's fine. No
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And
Okay.
I
So
wish you a safe trip. I know that you're at the airport.
yeah, we've
Uh,
boarded.
yeah,
yeah.
a
You
safe
got it.
flight.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I wish you a safe flight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so
well
much.
done.
Thank
Nice
you.
Thank
chatting
you.
with you. I'll reach
Thank
out
you
Nice.
to you
so much.
later.
Okay. No
Bye.
problem.
Bye.
Anytime. Bye, doctor.
Bye. I
Thank you.
heard
Okay,
ya.
bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank
Okay. Bye.
you. See,
Mm.
that connection, oh, a connection has happened now. Hey, Jiro, well done.
Yeah,
Your
that's
network.
networking. That's
Yeah,
networking right there. That's
exactly.
networking right there. You know, pass
Mm.
like this, so you know, pass like this.
No,
Yes, so.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Dr. Owen, do you want to? We're almost at the end of the section, but you want to add to that? Then we'll move
Yes,
on.
yes. So I'll say, I think if you want to be tested, if you want to be tested, become an entrepreneur in Nigeria. If you
Oh my
really
God.
want to be tested, if you really want to be tested to your limits. And so when you ask that question, I'm like, huh, almost every day I wake up and I say, "Ah, but I'm just a girl now. Why do I have to be this stressed? Why? Why do I have to be going through a lot like this? I'm just
Baby
a
girl life.
girl. Like, can I just be a baby girl? Can somebody just adopt me? Don't go take over and adopt me. But yeah, there are many times. Honestly, there are many times when I feel like, oh my God, like I even question, am I even doing enough? Like, for someone like me, I've always been an overachiever, right? Right from, like my cradle years, I've always been an overachiever. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself. But I think that some of the things that have helped me, one, celebrating my small wins. I have
Hmm.
come to realize the importance of celebrating my small wins. It is so, like, I don't care what it is, I celebrate my small wins. I take myself out and my girl, you did that, tap on the back, like celebrate my small wins. And then I try to take stock from time to time. Every year I start off with a vision board. It's something that I started doing last year. I start off with a vision board. I actually like create a vision board, get cardboard paper, and like make it very. I'm the least artistic person that you would meet in this life. But anyway, my Jaga Jaga vision board, I shall, do my vision board and all of that. And I try to take stock maybe on a quarterly or biannual basis, to see where I'm at and things like that. Celebrate my small wins. And then mentorship has really helped me. I was privileged to get a mentor this year. I was selected for a mentorship program where I was paired with, a mentor, and then there were some other group mentors, and it has really, really helped me. I think the biggest area that it helped me with was focus, because I found that, yeah, it's good to be versatile. It's very good to be versatile. But one thing I came to understand that for you to be truly successful and have sustained success, you need to be um, ruthlessly consistent, right? There needs to be something that people can say, like, this is what this person is known for. Um, so, for example, like we know that Dangote is a business mogul, right? But
Mm,
like or let me talk about, let me say maybe Tony Elumelu. When you think about Tony Elumelu, you know that yeah, he's a businessman, but the first thing that comes to your mind is UBA, right? But he's doing other things. There's Transcorp. There's,
mm,
like there's so many other things that he's doing, but he is so consistent that he is known, like think of yourself as a brand, right? And so focus has been that thing that, yes, of course, there are other things, but just honing that focus and what am I known for? Like when they say Dr. Owadomojo, what comes to mind, right? So just, yeah, focus. I think that that's something that helps to sort of tie it all together and help me to keep going, because it's really difficult to be pulled from so many different sides, but when you have focus, then it's easier for you to keep going, because the journey it does not get easier. I mean, it's a sad thing that I've come to realize, that it does not get lighter. Especially if you're somebody who is ambitious, it's always going to keep getting more. But knowing how to focus and all of that, and having those tools. And I think the last thing I would say is a strong support system. That's something that has really helped me to keep going, right? Having a strong support system, family, friends. I am blessed with some of the best people in my corner. And I think that that's something that is really important, especially in today's day and time, where human interaction seems to keep dwindling by the day. I think having a strong support system is very, very important, and leaning into your support system. So, those are some of the things that I would say have sort of helped me along the way as it got tougher.
wow. Well, I'm really glad. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Israel and Dr. Owen. Yeah, we've all been there. And I love we said if you want to be tested, come and be an entrepreneur in Nigeria. But when they talk about policy, well, thank you so much for sharing that. Just to let our audience know, when you see people up there smiling, they've actually worked similar paths like you're working now. So don't think that everybody had it soft, if that makes sense. So I want to put the last question together. And so to help us save time, because I want us to end within the next 10 minutes, possibly each of you can take. So if Dr. Israel take the lead in the first one, Dr. Owen, you can just quickly chip in. Then Dr. You, Owen, take the lead in the second one. Dr. Israel chip in, then the last one we end it. So I just group the questions together to save time. Okay, they were separated. Okay. So the first question is what common mistakes? I know you've addressed this in between, but just key points, like some highlights, because we have audience joining in and out. So what common mistakes do graduates make and how can they avoid them? That's the first one. The second one, what can graduates, how can graduates balance passion with practicality when it comes to choosing a career path or the next path, whatever it is, or business or innovation? Then the last question is, what are the three actionable steps they can take in the next 6 months? Now, we're not going to 10 years, but starting, let's be practical, 6 months. So I will start with the first question. I think I said Dr. Isa, right? We'll start it.
Yeah.
We'll add to it. Then next, sorry. Oh, he left. Oh no. I guess we have to start with you, Dr. Owen. So the first one, what are the
Okay.
common
Mm. Common mistakes that graduates make. I think maybe being stuck in okay, so Israel is back, but let me go ahead. I think
Go ahead,
for
please.
I would imagine that being stuck, like saying this, it has to be this. Like if it's not this job, I'm not, like it has to be this job, and not having a mindset of wanting to evolve. And in terms of balancing passion with practicality when choosing a career path, again, that also depends on where you are in the world. But if we're speaking in the context of Nigeria, again, I think it would come down to resilience. I think it will come down to everything that we have said before now, sort of feeds into this. You have to continue to apply for what you want. But again, I, when choosing your career, passion is what is going to keep you going. The passion is very, very important for what you're doing. If you don't have passion for what you're doing, your job will just feel like such a chore, right? It's not going to be enjoyable. It's not like there are things that I do now as an entrepreneur. Of course, like I don't say no to money, right? Like there are jobs that I get, or because I'm a consultant, right? There are things that come on board and I do it. Yeah, I get paid a huge, a truckload of money, but it's not necessarily what feeds my soul, right? It's not necessarily what I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about impact work, right? But then even in that, I still don't say no to certain things, right? I don't feel like I am at the point where I can say no to certain like to things that I'm not passionate about, but that will pay the bills. So I think it's also important to understand where you are, understand what the vision is, understand where it is that you want to get to. And whilst you are actively working towards getting to that point, you continue to take the experiences as they come. And of course, at certain points in your life, you're not saying, you're not in a position to say no to certain jobs. So, like Dr. Israel said, that he had to turn down a World Bank job. Understand where he was at a point in his career at that point where he felt he could turn down that job, right? It's very likely that maybe 3 years or 4 years before that happened, he would not have been in that position and he would never have even dreamt
Mm,
of turning down a World Bank job. Do you get what I'm saying? So as
very well.
we're hoping to get to that point of really landing that job that you've been dreaming about, continue to learn along the way, hone your skills and develop your network as you go along the way. I hope that that sort of helps to bring some clarity, but I'll also pass it on to Dr. Israel for his own inputs as well.
Dr. Just permit me to come in quickly. Sorry, I really love
Okay.
the fact, the point you made, Dr. Owen, and about the fact that understand your position where you are. Because why I'm saying this is, I love when we have a balanced debate because people might end up doing their job, not understanding certain things. So I'm glad you brought that clarity. So, Dr.
Hmm.
Israel, back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Owen. Like everybody is at different stages in their career. For me now, I'm not a mid professional. I'm supposed to be like a senior. Okay, what level you after mid professional? More like at the top shop because I've been in this business for over 17 years. My colleagues are like permanent tech and directors in ministry now. Okay, my contemporary. So that's why sometimes I could turn down a job for something higher. I think I was in the calculation with Ejiro recently. I calculated the amount of money for my PhD. If I tell you, what bank will not pay me that in 4 years? Because that's the truth. When I did the conversion, because and it's free money. I don't need to work for it, and at the end of the day, I'll be the one that will get the degree. You understand? It's like Commonwealth is
Wow.
investing in me, okay? And the essence of that investment,
Yeah.
I will write to you. I've even seen the little time I've been involved. I've seen the dividends of that investment already. I've been able to go to World Health Summit to make a presentation. I've been able to present at the World Health Assembly, uh, you know. And now I can't tell you other things that are waiting for me that I need to do. So back to the questions about what graduates to be aware of, the mistake they should not make. The fact that you went to Cambridge, the fact that you went to Oxford, the fact that you have distinction is nothing in the place of business. It's nothing to anybody. Even most people don't even bother about what your grade is or which university you went to nowadays. Is what can you bring on board? What value addition can you add to the organization? What transformative impact will your life bring? You know how many graduates comes out of the top 10 universities in the world? you know, from Stanford down to UCL to Oxford to Cambridge. Every year, thousands. The era of Ivy League is over. Now is what do you have? What skill set you bring on board? And that's where I tell people, not as much as I am an advocate for you going to the best school, because there's an advantage of going to the best school because you also build network. Like I'll tell you, for
Mm,
instance, if you are working in public health space, you realize that most of the people controlling events is either they went to London school or they passed through London school or Harvard. I'm being honest with you. Not even Oxford, though, or maybe the top schools in public health in the world, and that's something that we need to be mindful of. Then, secondly, they should also know that there is need for them to be innovative. They should not limit themselves to what they study or the aspect that they are passionate about. Passion will not feed you. Hmm. When hunger comes, passion disappears. That's the truth. You see, there are different stages. If you know you are from Dangote family, if Dangote's daughter is talking about passion, I understand because she has backup. But you are coming from you are the first, I was telling somebody, I said, one of the things, I think I mean, it was you I was talking to. I said, my supervisor wanted me to come for PhD in 2015.
yeah. Mm,
But I have a lot of responsibility on my head. I come from a very poor family. I have responsibility. I have family, immediate family. I have to go and settle them first. So, I'm look for the money. So back to what Dr. Owen said, depending on where you are, before you can make certain decision. Don't say Dr. Owen say it's some downward bank job. Oh.
Oh, boy.
I have gone to work in Somalia where they were Al-Shabaab were fighting. I've gone to work in Iraq where ISIS were killing people. Even I had post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, when I came to London back. It took me 6 months before I could recover because I was coming from war front. I went to make ego. I'll leave it at that, so that I can be established a little. So please don't make that mistake. And then finally, uh, in choosing your career pathway, please be flexible. Flexibility is the watchword. And I mean, sorry, Adrian, what's the last question? Let me know. I'm
Okay,
losing my
so
phone.
two more questions. One is how can graduates balance passion with practicality when choosing a career path, or the next chapter, and the last one is what are the three actionable steps, or give us three actionable steps that they can take in the next
Okay,
6 months, something
okay.
practical.
Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. I'll start with the last one. The three
Okay.
actionable steps, because me myself, I'm about graduating, you know that, and I've started looking for job. And be honest with you, I started planning to look for job. I've identified the jobs I can do, both short term, mid term, and long
Yeah.
term. You understand? Short term, the one I can do for like 3 months, I'll get more money, at least to support my family. Midterm, the one I can do at least to establish myself a little, that I know I have a contract for 2 years. And then probably long term, I'm looking at my consultancy and diversifying into so many
Mm.
things that I'm passionate about. Then back to the second question. How do they balance passion with
Yeah, practicality. Practicality, yeah.
practicality? Like I said earlier, jokingly, that except if you are Dangote's daughter or Dangote's son or Elumelu is your brother and your uncle. If you are my type, please be realistic. Weigh your options. Look at what you can get doing now, what you can do now that will meet the immediate needs, that will also expose you to the best practice. Let me say this, I think with all humility, I've never shared this on this platform. I took a job that paid me 20,000 to learn skills. I turned down a job that would pay me 100 plus some years back, long time ago. But I took the job of 20,000. The reason I took that job is because God told me the God factor. I think I need to also emphasize that the divine factor. You must learn the direction that God is taking you to. Don't just. It's not everything that glitter that is gold. You need to know where God is like laying. His purpose for you. Every one of us has a purpose. God has a plan for our life. We should be mindful of that. Irrespective of whether you have first class, I have seen first class that are useless. I'm telling you this. And I've also seen third class, even pass. Maybe some of us don't know that the late Gani Fawemi, he had a third class from Ife. And before he died, he was one of the top lawyers in this country. I hope we all know that. For those who are familiar with Nigerian context, your grade will not define you. It's what you use with those grades that will define you. Please keep on improving yourself, keep on evolving. That will be my final advice. So I hope I've answered your question. If not, I think Dr. Well will help me dot the T's. Dot the I's and
Actually,
cross the
Dr.
T's.
Israel
Yeah,
did fund you. You killed it. You killed it. You killed it.
thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Honestly, I will just smile because it's a interesting section and also it's a funny section. I'm also learning. So thank
We
you
are all
so
learning.
much.
Oh. We are all learning.
Okay. Yeah. We're all learning. We're all learning. Thank you so much. I remember what Dr. OM said before how I left. He said, Adrian, you know, pass like this, so it's connection, like simple, you know, pass like this. So, no, at times, I think it's one big thing that makes that difference. It's just little things, like you said, the consistency, the value. Just do it. Yeah. So thank you so much. And today's our audience didn't ask question, but it's okay. I can see people on the call, so I'm happy they're enjoying it. I think it's been a very interesting section. So I would say to our as our normal tradition to our panelists, any final words or anything you want to get out of the chest which we didn't allow you or we didn't ask you, then we'll call it a night. And just to our audience on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, thank you for joining us. I can see you. So thank you so much. So any final words, anything?
Dr. Owen first, ladies first. Then I will now
Yeah,
close.
please.
Then the lady will close.
Oh, thank you. You're a
Final
perfect
words.
gentleman. Okay, so
Thank
my
you.
final words, I'll say, so I'll say, listen, whatever it is that you think that you're struggling with, um, whether it's trying to apply to get a scholarship, whether it's trying to navigate to figure out what your career path is going to look like, whether it's trying to make a decision on which job to accept, and whether it's worry about what the future holds. Like, are you walking in your purpose? Are you doing the right things? Are you doing enough? Whatever it is that you're struggling with, I want you to leave here with the understanding that you're not alone. You're not walking this journey alone. There are people who have gone beyond before you. So the one thing that I want to leave you with is leave hope, keep hope alive. Don't let hope die, but also take actionable steps, like we have shared with you. Again, we don't know it all, right?
Yeah.
We don't know it all. We've had similar experiences that every other person here has had. There are some similarities in our experiences, and so I hope that you'll be intentional about the things that we have shared with you, and but most importantly, keep hope alive. You'd figure it out. I'm sure about it.
Yeah,
And
I
thank you
like
very
that.
much, Ichiru. On the back channel, I'll come back to Dr. Israel. I would really love to speak with Dr. Israel after this connect and all of that. Again, now here, our network, not pass like this. Oh.
Uh, um, before the audience speak, before you end the call, you can stay back a bit and chat so we can go offline and do the chatting in this platform. So yeah, Dr. Israel.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so much, Ejiro. Thank you, Dr. Owen. Thank you, Ajawa. And
Yeah.
thank you, every audience that have participated, that have been patient to wait. My admonition is this: dare to dream. I always tell people your dreams are valid. Irrespective of where you are now, envisage your next move. See yourself um, having a visionary post or maybe a visionary write up of what you're going to do over the next 6 months, next 1 year, and next 2 years, so that you'll be able to track it appropriately. Everybody, every one of us were not given this opportunity. I mean, I never knew I could come to London School. I never knew I could go to UCL. I never knew I could even cross border, because I came from a very, very poor family background. And I'm glad that God is the giver of dreams. Align your purpose with God's direction for your life and be prayerful. Even when you know everything, there's this say in the Bible say, the horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. Even in the midst of all this, favor is there, God factor is there, divine mandate is there, divine connection is there. So please keep on doing what you are doing and keep on improving yourself. Keep on studying, keep on touching lives, keep on making the difference in any sphere that you find yourself, in any part of the world, wherever you are. Keep on making a difference. Put in their hard work. And the rest, God will crown your efforts with great success. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here on this platform, as always. Thanks a million.
Thank you, Dr. Israel. I don't know if I should call you Dr. Israel or Pastor Israel, but anyway, thank you, Israel. We really appreciate that. For me, I have a lot of take home. Just a quick highlight. Add value, be consistent. Get mentors. I think Dr. Way mentioned and get mentors. Understand your position when you want to make decisions, and also get information. I think that's really very, very important, and the right information. So a lot of things have been said, and I always said have patience, because I keep, that story is amazing. Have patience. So just to say to all of you, we've had a lot of interesting points and they've shared real stories. And we're hoping that this section make a difference for you, or at least point you in the right direction, or give you a head start. So I just want to say to our speakers once more, thank you, Dr. Owen. We really appreciate it. I know you had a journey and you're still here. Thank you, Dr. Israel. Thank you, Hawawu. And to our audience that could let us know their name, and those that they're shy to let us know their name, thank you so much. We can still see you. And we hope you join us next week. We have two sections, one with building relationship and civil rights. We have industry experts coming in and academic experts. We hope those that want to know about civil rights, reference letter writing, building relationship, you can join us next Sunday. And also for our master students, current students, you're not left out, how to identify hidden curriculum, how to manage your master's degree journey, and how to have a smooth journey. We have that session on Saturday. So we hope to see you next week if you are interested in any of our sections. So once again, thank you for joining in from Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And to our speakers, thank you and have a good evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much.